Today we're taking a look at the Be Quiet Dark Power 12 1000 watt power supply, courtesy of Be Quiet. Be Quiet has a long history of making some really quality power supplies. They also make a ton of cases and coolers. So I was pretty interested to take a look at the Dark Power as I think it'll slot in well with high-end builds. In terms of the series lineup, the Dark Power does offer a 750 watt PSU, an 850 watt, a 1 kilowatt, which I have here today, 1300 watt, and a staggering 1600 watt option, all of which are not only modular, but they're also all 80 plus titanium efficiency certified, meaning these PSUs are going to run at an absolute max efficiency up to 95.8%. You're going to save a couple of bucks on the power bill, which is definitely nice, but most importantly, these are quality PSUs and they're not going to easily overheat even when you push them to the wattage limits. They have improved efficiency and better built-in cooling than your average PSU. They have improved efficiency and they have very good cooling because Be Quiet uses the Silent Wings fan technology. I'll be powering my Intel 14700K system with an RTX 3060 12GB with the Dark Power 13 PSU. Admittedly, this is a bit overkill, but it leaves me plenty of room to grab a higher-end GPU and comfortably water cool if I wanted. In addition to the very high efficiency, the Dark Power 13 series is ATX 3.0 compatible by default, meaning we are getting cabling for PCI Express 5.0 GPU or 12VH power, but no worries if you have an older GPU, there are plenty of PCI Express connections included. Just to give you an idea of the build quality, the PSU body or the casing is nice and smooth. It looks good in my opinion, and even though most modern PC cases are going to hide the PSU, this is one that I would happily show off inside of my case. Be Quiet says they used high quality Japanese capacitors, which are rated up to 105C, which is great, but you have pretty good PSU cooling here, so I don't think you'll really ever run into any overheating conditions, as long as your PC is being used normally. Modular connections are solid, they're easy to use, and the cables are very nice quality. I like that Be Quiet positions the power supply side of the modular connections vertically. I do think this makes it a little bit easier for me to plug the cabling in, especially after the PSU is installed, if I'm feeling lazy and I don't want to take it out. Like I said, we're getting a very good selection of nicer sleeved power cables or strands. The main 24-pin harness is 600mm long. We have a 700mm long 4+4 and 8-pin CPU EPS cable. I like having both of these cable options, it definitely comes in handy. The PCI Express 5.0 or the 12VH power PCI Express cable is 600mm long, and there are 3 dual PCI 6+2 pin PCI Express power cables. We're wired up for a whole lot of graphics power here, so definitely take advantage of it if you can. Probably a good time to mention that this power supply has a switchable rail mode, which is kind of interesting. I haven't seen this before. By default, the PSU functions as if it has 4 12-volt rails, and you can actually flip a switch in this little overclocking mode to make this just one massive 12-volt rail. So pretty much go wild if you can. As for the main accessory power cables, there's one cable that has SATA and legacy Molox cables mixed on it. That's kind of interesting. We have 2 1-meter all SATA power cables, each with 4 connections, and the overclocking key add-on, which is basically that switch that flips the 12-volt rail into one mode for overclocking. Even building in this bigger case, the Darkbase 701 that I have here, there's plenty of cabling without needing to buy extensions. Like I mentioned, I really like that the cables are sleeved, they have a premium look and feel, and they're not too stiff. This definitely helps the Be Quiet PSUs stand out in my opinion. The 1000 watt PSU is rated for up to 1000 watts continuous, with an 1100 watt peak power output rating. The PSU is rated for over 100,000 hours of use and can easily operate up to 40C, though it probably won't because the cooling design is quite good in my opinion. Be Quiet does rate these power supplies with a 10-year warranty, so definitely make sure to register for that. I think that's a huge bonus on the Dark Power 13 PSU lineup. As for sound output, this PSU is very quiet. It runs a Silent Wings fan, producing just under 8.6 dBA at power outputs up to 50% load, or about 500 watts. That's pretty great because most gaming PCs are definitely going to fall in that range. But if you do need to ramp up to full load, or 1000 watts continuous, which is a lot by the way, You're looking at just under 26 dBA worth of sound. That is incredibly quiet, considering if you needed 1,000 watts of power in your gaming PC, your system would be way louder even with full water cooling loop. Also, in case you didn't know, Be Quiet does try to offer some cross-compatibility in terms of the cabling between their different PSU lines. You can actually go out to the Be Quiet website and use the cable checking compatibility tool and verify if your old cables will work with a new PSU. All of the cables on the Dark Power 13 work on the Dark Power 12, with the exception of the 12VH power cable, for example. There's also some compatibility there with some of the older Dark Power Pro PSUs, but you always want to check the calculator to be sure. I think that that's an awesome design, and it's super cool that Be Quiet shares this data, and it's really easy to use. Just pop in the different models and you pretty much will know right away which cables are compatible. No guesswork. This PSU is one of the beefier power supplies. It's coming in at 175 millimeters long, 150 millimeters wide, and 86 millimeters tall. If you know that you need a 1000 watt titanium rated power supply though, you probably have a pretty big case, but it's always worth double checking. Right now, the 1000 watt version of this power supply is coming in around the $250 mark on Amazon. For the cost, considering the total power output, plentiful cabling options, the 12VH power cable, the fact that these cables are already nicely sleeved, and you're getting a 10-year warranty, I think this is a pretty good deal in terms of a PSU. PSUs like this are kind of a long-term investment. You probably have this for your gaming build for maybe 3, 4, even 5 years. And then when you swap out the parts, you can keep reusing this power supply because it's a quality unit and you know it's going to last. So yeah, I would definitely recommend this PSU for new gaming builds, or if you just want to upgrade from an older, say 600 watt PSU. Anyways, if this video helped you out with your PSU buying decision, I would definitely appreciate it if you hit that like button for the algorithm. If you want to get subscribed, you'll get more component, PC, and gaming reviews, and a couple of home server videos here and there. I'll have links to the Dark Power 13 and the build that I used here in the description below, so definitely head down there and check it out. Until next time, stay powered up.